Islam, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Moorish Light, where the podcast is a revolution. So, of course, we will begin with prayer. Just ask me, give me 1 second. Of course, we will begin with prayer, and I hope everyone is preparing for our Moorish New Year, which is on the 15th, but we gather together on the 14th. And, we well, I will be explaining it as we go in a segment of the program in case somebody's just not familiar with what to do. So, of course, we start with the Moorish American prayer. And it's 2 fingers on the right, 5 on the left. And this is how we hold our hands. Islam, Islam, Islam. And welcome to another edition of the Moorish Light, where the podcast is a revolution. Now back to prayer. Islam, Islam, Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. So I have welcomed you a lot of times, and I'm just experimenting, so bear with me. Get a little drum. Okay. So I'm learning some things. Islam, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Moorish Light, where where the revolution is a podcast. We begin by giving praises to the causeless cause and the rootless root of the great God, Allah. We give honor to the last prophet in this dispensation, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in the first, second, and third form. We give honor to Grand Sheikh John Givensil, Prophet Noble Drew Ali reincarnated, who kept the foundation of the movement and continue to build on the foundation of the movement. I give a special honor to my teacher, Grand Sheikh Richardson Dingle Hill, Prophet Noble Drew Ali III, who introduced me to the Prophet and educated me divinely and nationally, as well as to his brother, Grand Sheikh Timothy Dingle Hill, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and in that case, we're talking about God, man, and prophet. And we have explained that in case anybody's not clear. Grand Sheikh Richardson Dingle Hill is the God man, and Grand Sheikh Timothy Dingle Hill is the prophet. We also like to give honor to the great emancipator Abraham Lincoln, honors to Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the forerunner, Grand Sheikh and Sheikh, Supreme Grand Sheikh and Sheikh Prather Eel, Honorary Supreme Grand Sheikh Thorn Eel and Sheikess Thorn Eel, and to our current Grand Sheikhess, as well as National Grand Sheikhess Tiffany Jones Bay. Islam, and welcome to the Moorish Light, the Soul School. shining light, clearing up the confusion, and teaching the basic facts. Our objective is unity and manifesting the ultimate goal of the Moorish movement. Um, Here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to dispute charters, who is the supreme grand sheik. We are here to establish a basic foundation of the Moorish movement and love and understanding. Um, so let's define light. Spiritually, light symbolizes knowledge, truth, divine presence, hope, guidance, and purity, representing awareness and the path away from spiritual darkness, ignorance, and sin towards enlightenment, goodness, and union with the divine, appearing across cultures as God's creation, inner wisdom, or guiding force for humanity. It signifies life, revelation, and the illumination of the spirit within. So that light is something awful powerful. Okay, so of course we always start our program off reading from the Holy Quran of Mecca. Today our surah is Surah 10. Let's make sure I got it right. Yes, Surah 10. And because we have two surahs today, so I got to make sure I go to the right one. Let's see. Oh, I didn't. All righty. And we're doing Surah 34, ayats. Definitely just catching up at me. We're opening with Surah 10, ayats 2 and 3. This is the Surah of Jonah. Surah 2 says, "Is it a matter of wonderment to men that we have sent out inspiration to a man from among themselves?" Hear that now. Is it a matter of wonderment to men that we have sent out inspiration to men from among themselves, that he should warn mankind of their danger and give the good news to the believers that they have before their Lord the lofty rank of truth? But say the unbelievers, this is indeed an evident sorcerer. And I declare I have heard that the prophet is a sorcerer. He a belief or a concept of who the prophet is, what the prophet is, what the prophet must do, and how he must do it. So they don't know the when, wheres, and hows of what a prophet is. And the saddest part of it all is that they cannot believe that a prophet came to them. So it says, "Is it not still more wonderful that the inspired man should be one of ourselves?" The Arabs had known Muhammad in other relationships and conditions, and when the mighty message came through his mouth, the message of wisdom and power, such as no man could speak as from himself, least of all a man not instructed in human learning, they could only in their wonder attribute it to magic and sorcery. They failed to understand that magic and sorcery were projections of their own mind, while here was solid, enduring truth from Allah. And a lot of us, we have that kind of issue with the prophet because we think we need to add masonry and we need to add this and we need to add that. What the prophet brought us is clean, it's pure, and it can solve the Negro problem. But some of us may be under the delusion that there is no Negro problem because slavery in itself, or mental slavery in itself, has become very progressive. we got all kinds of tools to help promote mental slavery. So let me read the next footnote. It says Allah's message was and is not all smooth and agreeable. Let me say that again because I get leaned on. People try to lean on me all the time. Allah's message was and is not all smooth and agreeable. The first thing is to convince us of our sin and wrongdoing and warn us of our danger. If we have faith, we then learn what a high rank we obtain in the sight of Allah through His glorious truth, which makes us pure and free. According to another view, the word, and I'm probably just not pronouncing it correctly, kadana, kadama, here refers to the fact that the acts of a person precede him to his Lord. The word seek qualifies these acts with sincerity and genuineness. So, it what the prophet brought was a message from the great God Allah to redeem us. He didn't bring a law library. He didn't bring um, I'll just say masonry for lack of a better term at this point. But he brought the simple truth. It's simple, it's plain, it's uncomplicated. But when we add our 2 cents worth in it, it does get kind of complicated. Verily, your Lord is Allah, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then he established himself on the throne of authority, regulating and governing all things. No intercessor can plead with him except for his leave hath been obtained. This is Allah your Lord. Him therefore serve ye, will ye not then be of warned? And it says, see note 1031 to Surah 750, Surah 7 ayat 54. So the footnote goes on to say, istawa with the preposition il, a after it means he turned to or he directed himself by his will. Because a lot of us don't understand the importance of will and why Allah gave us the will to choose him. If he wanted a robot, I'm sure he could have built a robot. But he wants us to choose him over all things. So when we get into a position where we're so blind that he has to send a messenger with a message to help bring our attention back to him. His design comprehended the heavens to emphasize the fact that heavens were not eternal or co-eternal with him, but were a part of his design, and in a sense, as they appear to man subjectively, a complement to the creation of man's earth. With the preposition Allah after it, or ALA after it, as here in 754, Surah 7, Ayah 54, Surah 23, Ayah 28, and Surah 25, Ayah 59. The meaning seems to be to mount or ascend, to be firmly established, to sit firm and unshaken beyond question. The throne of authority represents many ideas: that Allah is high above all his creation. 2, that he regulates and governs it as a king does, whose authority is unquestionably recognized. 3, that he is not therefore like the gods of Greece or paganism, who were imagined to be in a world in a world apart, careless of mankind or jealous of mankind, but on the contrary. 4, he disposes of their affairs and all affairs continuously with justice. 5, that the authority of his prophets, ministers, and messengers is derived from him. Such intercession as they can make is by his will and permission. So you trying to attempt to modify or change more science, the message that was sent by the great God Allah is ludicrous. Really ludicrous. So, um, let me shrink that. And so the title of my program today is Mantle, Reincarnation, and Authority. We've heard authority on here several times. So I want to stop sharing for a second here. Let's see. I hear him. So I'm going to stop sharing. And we're going to talk about mantle. And the reason why we're going to talk about mantle, because a lot of us struggle with the term reincarnation. We struggle with it. Even though we see in our Holy Quran that in these modern days, Prophet Noble Drew Ali is Jesus, Marcus Messiah Garvey is the forerunner. We still doubt reincarnation. So I'm going to try to give it to you in a way that you can understand. And so the way that I'm going to do that today is I'm going to talk about mantle. Now, I don't do a lot of variations. I'm not trying to throw a whole bunch of information at you. I'm not trying to sensationalize you. I'm just trying to help you build a sure foundation. So let's see if we can share that now. Let's see. It must be this one. Alrighty. And we're going to be using or reading Ayat 48. So I'm going to need to move this over. And it says, Verily, my Lord doth cast the mantle of truth over his servants, he that has full knowledge of all that is hidden. Allah's truth. Allah's truth is so vast. Let me see if I can't get this thing. A second. I'll have to take that down for a minute. Allah's truth is so vast that no man in this life can compass the whole of it. But Allah in His mercy selects His servants on whom it is cast like a mantle. They see enough to be able to teach their fellow men. It is through that mantle, that mission received from Allah, that a messenger can speak with authority to men. He cannot explain the exact mystery of inspiration, but he knows it is from Allah. And this is third argument. So when we talk about reincarnation and we talk about the prophet, we also have to take a look at I apologize about that. Um, so let's see, let's make sure we do this right. We're going to share. So when we talk about Allah's truth, we're talking about Allah's truth through the message of the prophet, which it would be, depending on what we're teaching, it would be the Holy Quran, the Bible, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, the Holy Quran of Mecca, the Bible. Those are three major scriptures. If we're talking constitutionally, we're going to be talking about using the Constitution. And we're going to be looking at it. We look at the Constitution of the United States, and we look at the free national Constitution of the United States, so we can make an accurate comparison. And the difference is one is focused on full citizenship, and the other is focused on granted privileges. So if we're doing history, we'll use some books like The Great Conspiracy, The American Conflict, History of America, The Negro Beast, Black's Law Dictionary. And if we're looking at it from a moral perspective, we will look at our Holy Quran and the Moorish Science Temple, again, the Bible, the Holy Quran of Mecca. So depending on what the instruction is, depends on what reference you would use. So the reference is not limited to just the Moorish literature and the Holy Quran and the Moorish Science Temple. There's a plethora of books that we can use as a reference when we start to talk about Allah's message. So as you notice in these verses, one of the things that it talks about is authority. And let's see, did the prophet bring us authority? I'm going to stop sharing this.